There's a small pronunciation trick that native speakers like me use constantly without even realizing. It makes speech faster and smoother, but it also makes it much harder for learners to understand what we're saying. If you don't know this pronunciation technique, you might end up feeling a bit confused when you listen to native speakers, but don't worry, I'm here to show you everything you need to know to keep up with fast native speech, so let's get cracking. Hey up mate, cheers for finding this video today. My name is Dan, I'm a CELTA qualified British English teacher with over 10 years experience, and my goal is to help you feel more confident when you're communicating in English. Today we're talking about a pronunciation thing that native speakers like me do quite a lot. It's where we don't pronounce the t or the d sound at the end of words, right? It's a kind of connected speech technique, and it's a technique that we use to speak more quickly and create this nice flowing speech pattern. It's quite similar to some of the other techniques I've talked about on my channel, like catenation and intrusion, and if you want to check those videos out after this one, the link is in the description. Now, the problem with this kind of technique is that it makes listening much harder for people who are learning English, right? When sounds move or go missing, it can be really hard to kind of understand where one word ends and the next word starts, right? It just sounds like one big long noise, and it can be really hard to catch exactly what is said, and this is one of the biggest reasons people struggle with real conversations and TV shows and everyday interactions. And I'm showing you this today to help you understand native speakers. It's to help you with your listening skills by showing you what's really happening. I'm not saying that you need to do this in your own speaking. You can, if you want to, but you don't have to, right? In this video, I do include a little bit of shadowing to help you practice your pronunciation if you want to. And speaking of practicing pronunciation, don't forget to grab my free speaking practice toolkit. The link is in the description below, and it'll help you practice your speaking, even if you're on your own. So the first situation we're going to talk about today is when a word ends in the sound t, and the next word starts with a consonant sound. In that case, most of the time, we're not going to pronounce that T sound, and it kind of just disappears, right? There's a bit of an exception to this, but I'll tell you about that a bit later in the video, but for now, let's have a look at some examples. So, when a word ends in a T sound, and the next word starts with any consonant sound, that T is going to disappear at the end of the word. So, last week. That T is the end of the word, and the next word begins with a W. So in that case, we're going to say last week. Okay? Next year. That T, once again, is at the end of the word. The next word starts with a consonant sound, and we're going to get rid of that T. And we've got next year. Next year. First thing. First thing. First thing. Okay? Let's look at the example sentences. I saw John last week. 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 Last week. Next year. Next year. Next year. Next year, I'm going to Brazil. Next year, I'm going to Brazil. I need coffee first thing in the morning. I need coffee first thing in the morning. I need coffee first thing in the morning. That's definitely true for me. I'm useless without a cup of coffee. So that explains when we don't pronounce the T sound, but what about the D sound? Well, we don't pronounce the D at the end of a word when the next word starts with a consonant sound, the same as the t, but it tends to happen a lot with regular past simple verbs. And this causes a problem because when we skip that d, it sounds exactly the same as the present simple verb. And that can be really, really confusing. So usually the sentence will tell us if it's in the present or in the past, but it can be really tricky. And also, on a side note, I forgot to mention it earlier, if the next word starts with a H sound, we don't always skip the t or d, right? But that's a slightly different thing. Anyway, let's look at some examples. So this is what it looks like when a word ends in a d and the next word starts with a consonant. So closed late. Closed late, okay? Now quickly, we're going to say that d, and it's going to sound like the present simple verb, close late, close late, close late, close late. Enjoyed myself, enjoy myself, enjoy myself, enjoy myself. Agreed with, agree with, agree with, agree with. Okay. So if we look at the example, the shop closed late. The shop closed late. The shop closed late. Now, the sentence tells you it's in the past because if it was in the present, it would be the shop closes late. But here we're just saying the shop closed late. The shop closed late. So that's how you can tell it's in the past, right? I really enjoyed myself at the party. Now, this one, we probably need to add some extra information like last week to show it's in the past. Because otherwise, I really enjoyed myself at the party. What, like every time or just that time? So I really enjoyed myself at the party last week. So last week from the T sound. I really enjoyed myself at the party last week. I really enjoyed myself at the party last week. She agreed with me. She agreed with me. She agreed with me. Because once again, if it was in the present, it would be she agrees with me. So she agreed with me. She agreed with me. She agreed with me. So now you know when to drop the t or the d sound at the end of words, but there's one extra little thing that you need to know about when it comes to specifically the t sound. Now, if a word ends in t, but the sound before the t is a vowel, or l, m, or n, the t sound doesn't disappear, it becomes a glottal stop. Now, if you're not sure what that is, it's when we kind of cut the airflow and the t becomes like a sound. Maybe you know the joke about British people saying bottle of water, like that. I don't want to talk too much about glottal stops because I've got another video already about it. So let's just have a bit of a look at what I'm talking about. Okay, so if a word ends in t, but the sound before the t is a vowel, a l, a m, or a n, then that t is going to become a glottal stop. Okay, so if we look at want to, so the word ends in t, the next word starts with a consonant, and the sound before it is n. So it's going to become want to, not want to. Want. You can hear that little stop. Want to. Want to. Not one to. That sounds like 1, 2. Want to. Want to. Want to. Hadn't seen. Hadn't seen. Hadn't seen. Hadn't seen. It was. It was. It was. Not he was. It was. It was. Okay? For example, I want to go to the cinema. I want to go to the cinema. I want to go to the cinema. I hadn't seen him for ages. I hadn't seen him for ages. I hadn't seen him for ages. It was really difficult. It was really difficult. It was really difficult. It was really difficult. So now you know the rules. Let's do a bit of practice. We'll do some shadowing. I'll say the sentence, you listen and repeat it, and we'll do it 3 times. So let's have a look. Right then, here we go. Listen and repeat. This is the last time I'll tell you. This is the last time I'll tell you. This is the last time I'll tell you. Good stuff. The next one. They're arriving on Wednesday next week. They're arriving on Wednesday next week. They're arriving on Wednesday next week. Good stuff. Next one. She worked late again yesterday. She worked late again yesterday. She worked late again yesterday. Good stuff. Next one. I enjoy myself far too much. I enjoy myself far too much. I enjoy myself far too much. Good stuff. So these ones are the glottal stops. I want to check the details. I want to check the details. I want to check the details. Nice one. Last one. We've got 2 links. So, I can't wait to go on holiday. I can't wait to go on holiday. I can't wait to go on holiday. Okay, so that wraps up the shadowing practice for this video. If you want more information on the shadowing technique and other speaking practice techniques that you can do, even if you're on your own, don't forget to get my free speaking practice toolkit. The link is in the description below, and it'll show you everything you need to build a practice routine to improve your speaking, even if you're on your own. It's totally free, so get it now. But that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back again with another one really soon, but until then, look after yourself. See you there.